Hey, it's Mel. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be looking into a UFO case. Now, let me just say that this case in particular is very interesting and there is some evidence to back it up, but at the end of the day, you believe in what you want to believe. Today we're looking into the case of Betty and Barney Hill, who were a married couple that claimed to be abducted by aliens. Now, right off the bat, that sounds crazy, doesn't it? And weird. And you guys know that if I stumble upon an interesting or weird case, I will talk about it. That's pretty much sums up my channel. So anyway, let's get into it because there's a lot to talk about. First, let's talk about the couple's background. Betty and Barney Hill lived in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Barney worked for the US Postal Service, mainly working night shifts, while Betty worked as a social worker. Betty and Barney both worked full-time and did voluntary work. They were also supporting members of the NAACP, which stands for the National Association for the Advancement of Coloured People, and their purpose was to secure the rights of black people. Betty and Barney were an interracial couple, meaning that Betty was white and Barney was black. Around this time in the 60s, their kind of relationship was not common and not fully accepted within the community, which is sad. But obviously since the 60s, a lot has changed. At this point, the couple had been married for 16 months, but they never went on their honeymoon. So after taking a break from work, the two decided to go on a road trip along with their pet dog, Delcy, from Montreal to Niagara Falls on the 19th of September 1961. After their road trip, when the couple were driving back home to Portsmouth, around 10:30, Betty claimed to see a bright light in the sky moving upwards. As Barney was driving the car, Betty told him what she was seeing. This odd light moved fast and got bigger and brighter. Betty urged Barney to stop the car so that they could have a closer look at this thing. Barney stopped the car at a picnic area near South Twin Mountain. Betty grabbed a pair of binoculars and through them she saw a spinning object in the sky. At this point the couple were both skeptical and Barney was a very intelligent man, but he too saw this thing and grew concerned. Barney saw the light and the couple kept on driving until they reached Route 3 in Lincoln, when the object hovered just over 100 feet from their car. At this point, Barney got out of the car with a handgun. He could see strange beings behind the windows of the craft who were dressed in grey uniforms. Somehow the strange beings told Barney to put down his gun. Barney tried to raise his gun, but he was unable to do so. He ran back to the car and sped off. Then Betty and Barney both heard strange buzzing noises coming from their trunk. The couple felt dizzy and then lost consciousness. The next morning, on the 20th of September, the couple woke up in their home having no memory of what happened the night before. Both Barney and Betty's watches had stopped working, Barney's shoes were scuffed, and one strap from the binoculars was torn, along with Betty's dress being torn in different places. Once Betty had woken up, she put her dress that she wore the night before in her closet. She noticed that her dress was torn at the hem, the lining, and the zipper at the back. The dress was blue and was mostly covered in this pinkish powder. Over the years, Betty kept her dress in the closet, and so far 5 labs have done chemical and forensic analysis on the dress. The couple later on found shiny concentric circles on the trunk of their car, which had not been there the day before the incident. The couple experimented with a compass on the trunk of their car. When they moved the compass towards these circles, the needle on the compass would move rapidly, and when they moved the compass away from these circles, the needle would stop moving. On the 21st of September, Betty had called the Peace Air Force Base to report a UFO encounter. However, the people at this Air Force base told Betty that she and her husband probably just misidentified something. They didn't buy her story. Trying to piece together what happened that night, Betty spent hours in the library reading about the National Investigations Committee on Aerial Phenomena, which was a UFO group. In the following years, both Betty and Barney suffered from disturbing dreams and anxiety. The couple ended up seeing a psychiatrist. Through sessions of hypnosis, the couple were able to remember what happened that night. According to the couple, as they were speeding down the mountains, the UFO landed on their car and put them to sleep. Then the strange beings that the couple had seen earlier put them into a craft. Once inside, the couple were separated and tested on. The couple were each told to climb onto a metal table and remove their clothing, I'm aware how this sounds, okay? The grey beings then proceeded to take different hair samples, along with nail clippings and parts of their skin. Each nail clipping, hair and skin sample was then placed onto a glass slide. The grey beings then put needles in the couple's head, arms and legs. One needle was put into Betty's stomach as a pregnancy test. While this was all going on, another grey being, who appeared to be the leader, was stood beside the couple observing them. Barney would later describe the craft as having red lights on it. It was the size of a jet but as flat as a pancake. The couple said they had lost their memory after hearing the strange buzzing noises as they were driving away from the craft. The couple each drew a picture of the craft, and Barney later on explained that the craft had some kind of fins on it that came out of the sides and then stairs leading into the craft. Right before the couple was supposedly abducted, they each felt a tingling sensation in their body and their car vibrated. Then they heard the odd buzzing noise and fell asleep. 10 days after the UFO incident, Betty began having dreams, which continued for 5 nights and then stopped. Betty wrote down the details of her dreams. Her dreams consisted of what she and Barney had experienced in real life. Her dreams involved grey small beings that took her and Barney into a craft, then separated them and did tests. Some UFO groups do believe that these dreams that Betty was having were not dreams but were actually memories of what had occurred. After seeing the UFO that night in September 1961, the couple had also lost a huge chunk of time. The couple remembers nothing of their drive home. The drive home should have taken them 4 hours, but the couple arrived home 7 hours later, after their departure from Colebrook. At age 85, Betty died in 2004 and Barney died in 1969. Up until their deaths, the couple were honest about their encounter and believed it to be real. Kathleen Marden believes that her Auntie Betty and Uncle Barney were telling the truth about their abduction and appeared on the show this morning to talk about it. It's worthy to note that the couple did not own any UFO books, that the couple, until they had their encounter, never believed in UFOs or aliens. They did not watch any TV, anything to do with the topic. As I mentioned before, Betty did report the UFO encounter to Peace Air Force Base, and the people at this base didn't believe her. They said she was probably just misidentifying something. With that being said, on the night of the abduction, the craft was seen on radar at 2 Air Force stations. The Air Force stations later went on to say that this was a confirmed UFO sighting and not just a glitch in the systems. While Kathleen was on the show this morning, she talked about the pink powdery substance found on Betty's blue dress. The dress was torn in different places. It was in such a mess, yet Betty had no memory of how it got to that state. The dress was fine when she put it on before going on the road trip. The dress was analysed by 5 different labs and they have found proteins and oils on the dress which do not belong to Betty. The dress is mostly covered in this pink powdery substance, and as far as I'm aware, no one's been able to say what this pink powder is. Going back to the weird circles found on the trunk of the couple's car, I wish there was pictures of that, but I can't find anything online. This case has inspired books to be made and the 1975 film The UFO Incident. The couple are also seen in Season 2 Asylum of American Horror Story. Anyway, that is the case of Betty and Barney Hill and their abduction story. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching and I'll see you very soon. Take care. Bye.